We are going through extremely difficult times in our country right now.
Terrence and I are doing our part to fight for justice, and we'd like to encourage you to do the same, whether that's marching, protesting, or donating.
In the description for Drinks with My Wife, we'll have a link to Black Lives Matter and a variety of other charities where you can give. Thank you for joining Drinks with My Wife.
Thanks. What are you drinking, by the way? We didn't even we should be starting with, because it's the most important thing about our podcast. What are you drinking?
I is drinking a whiskey sour right now with Buffalo Trace. The Buffalo Trace, which I'm a big fan of. It's nice and sweet. I'm not, it's a nice chill way to, before I start hitting the Manhattans and stuff like that.
Nice.
But yeah, a whiskey sour. What about you?
I'm doing it hardcore. I'm just drinking tequila.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Sips low. It's early. It's early.
It's never too early. We're in fucking quarantine. I feel like it's always the same hour.
It is.
For me, I feel like it's always 5 p.m.
Yes.
It's always happy hour.
I don't feel like, I realized today when I was getting dressed, you mentioned that you ironed, which she did a great job.
I ironed for the first time literally in months because I haven't gone into an office.
Why would you need to? We've been wearing sweatpants and stuff. But you know the other thing I realized today, I have not put on a watch in months.
I haven't put on jewelry.
And think about this. I haven't put on a watch in months and I'm yet to be late anywhere. Where the fuck am I going?
See, that's a I've had 2 drinks joke.
Nice. Oh my goodness.
No, when you break out the scales, that's where that.
Like I am serious. Like
that's funny.
Not worn to watch.
So I've been thinking about something as a topic for us to talk about, because I have to be honest with you. I don't know that we've ever actually talked about this, but I'm a big fan of just talking about sex. Because I find it's fascinating. There's so many avenues to it, and there's so many topics to be talking about related to it. But one of the things I was thinking about
I can feel family members getting uncomfortable as we speak.
Yeah.
Please go. Keep going.
Put the kids to bed.
I'm curious.
Were you or your friends ever the type? Did you have the type of friendship when you were around just your male friends that you talked about the partners you had sex with and what that experience was like?
Like,
do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, I do. So, yes, but there is a disclaimer. I will say this with my friends is that my closest friends, like I was never a locker room dude. Like I want to sit around and talk about who was doing what with whom.
Where does that phrase come from anyway? Locker room.
Because it's like water cooler talk. It's like the thing that's what you assume, that when you're in a locker room, this is what guys are going to talk about.
Because it's a safe.
Yeah, but for me, when I'm showering after a track meet, the last thing I want to do is talk about who was fucking who. Like that started like sounding like the beginning of a gay porn. Like I don't. But my closest friends.
Anybody and he knows of those. So
nice.
Just listen. Go ahead. Sorry.
My closest friends, we were not that way. Like, do we talk about things? Yeah, but you never would say someone's name. And we also, I can only speak for myself. No, that's not true. I can speak for my circle. It was we never, ever talked about a girlfriend.
But, okay. So,
that's a huge, huge factor.
Okay. Well,
side chicks are.
This is a whole nother topic. Because that was going to be my question to you. Like, you might not say names, but wouldn't they know who you're talking about because you dated someone? But you're not talking about that.
Never.
You didn't talk about that person
that
you were in a relationship with. You talked about the person who you were fucking.
Yeah, someone you hooked up with. Like you wouldn't dare. And I gotta be honest.
And you even wouldn't share a name then, is what you're saying.
No, but
also, would you provide details?
My goodness, this is like rapid fire. I feel like I'm testifying. Goddamn, slow down, Senator.
We do have a lot of lights.
Look,
here.
Okay, so would we share names? Absolutely not. But the idea of like campfire talk, I'm giving another shitty metaphor or whatever, or simile, whatever it is. Like, so it's one thing to talk about one time I was with this girl and go into it.
Right.
Or you could say one time I was with this girl named ... You can say her name because your friends don't know her, but you would never do that with your girlfriend because now all of a sudden they're gonna be viewing her different. Like it's like all of a sudden it's just like, oh my, hey,
I know what you did.
Hey Pam, it's good to see you. My goodness, heard you're a hell of a tromboner. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing last thing you want to do is for someone to view your partner differently.
Yeah, I get that.
And we were also, it's just.
See, I think that's the complete opposite of women. I actually think women talk about it because they want to present their partner as an amazing lover, even when they may not be.
Oh, I'm sure they're not. Numerically, there's no way. There's enough bad porn to let me know that there are a lot of bad lovers.
No,
those are professionals.
No. Of course that's true. But what I'm saying to you is, you said that males don't talk about it because you don't want them to view them in a certain way. Right.
My friends. Yeah, just my friends. I don't know
about
what
I'm
other guys.
saying to you is, I think women will talk about it and will always position their partner as being amazing at sex, even if he might not be.
So
or
Bill,
she, he
so
or she
Bill
might not
came
be.
into the bedroom last night swinging his dick. Now, do they really like? They want to talk about their spouses?
I don't think it's that. I don't.
boyfriend.
I don't think it's that. No, their sexual partner. Let's just say that, whomever that might be, male, female, it doesn't even matter. My point is that I don't think there's necessarily that level of detail as to a play-by-play of what happened, but I definitely think that they want to position their partner as an amazing lover, even if the words are, "Oh my God, it's the best sex I've ever had," or "Oh my God,
let me
it
ask
lasted
you this. I'm going to present a scenario that has never happened to me, and then I'm going to ask you the female version of this. Has it ever happened to you? I have never
tricky.
I've never been sitting around with my friends, and they go, "Yeah, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, she's really bad at giving head." Mm-hmm. Have you ever been sitting around with a bunch of women where they're describing someone specific that you might know, or even their spouse that you don't know, and they say something like that?
Where their partner is bad at oral sex, or bad at sex in general.
Something in general. Or even good. Like I've never been sitting in a room where some guy has gone, "Man, my wife gets whew."
No, but of course not, because people don't want to talk about that. But this is my point.
No, that's what I'm asking.
But this is my point. They don't want to say that their partner is bad at it. But what they might do is, to compensate for that, be over enthusiastic about how good they are. And I'm not talking about friends. I'm not talking about friends.
No.
I was talking in complete generality about females, and again, this is just my perspective and theory, but I do believe that, because it's just like that adage. Sorry, it's just like that adage of women dress when they go out. They don't dress for the male they're with. They dress for other women.
100%.
And I do believe that women, when they're talking to other women, want to position their life and their relationship in glowing terms, even when it's a piece of shit.
You know what? I get that. And you know what? Whenever you break it down by the male
Are you saying I'm right?
Yes. No, I'm agreeing. What I'm saying is, I can't speak for being a woman. What I was saying was, now when you position it in that way, I have been around that dude who talked about fucking the shit out of somebody. I have been in that situation where he wants to portray himself in a certain way, like, "Oh yeah, I met this chick at the bar the other man, I took it home and I just fucking tagged it." And you're just going.
But think about the difference of that. Think about the difference. About this of males versus females. Males will boost themselves up,
100%,
and women will boost their partner up. Like, how bizarre is that? I've never been around a woman where she talks about how good she is at giving head.
I have.
Seriously. Because she's looking for a date. But
but that's the thing. Like, when you position it by gender, I think
think about that dynamic, right? That women, it's again that thing of women, right, dress for other women. Like, they want to position their partner, because they want to position their life and their sex life as being amazing or better than it really is.
Right.
And again, I've never sat around with my friends where any of them has talked about themselves and how good they are. They might talk about the things they enjoy doing.
Well, that's different.
which
Yeah,
is
well, that's
different.
different. That's
But
different,
they
yeah.
never talk about themselves
But guys
and how
will.
good they are.
And
And,
I-
men will,
and
which is
men
really
will.
fascinating.
Men will say, I mean, yeah, we will. I might feel like I'm out here giving out secrets, but that's the truth. Like guys will. So
Talk about themselves.
Yeah, there are those men who are going to be hyping up their shit, and which is really funny. I had an incident when I was younger where this is going to be vulgar, although we're always vulgar. But
We're just direct.
I'm not going to try to frame it that way. There was a friend of mine who was sleeping with another guy's we knew girlfriend.
Oy.
And so we were hanging out with that guy later on. He goes, the guy, he's talking about his girlfriend. He was like, man, he said, I might have had to move on. We were like, oh, wow, really? That's crazy. He's like, yeah, the sex is just kind of getting boring. Like, what? He's like, yeah. He said, I feel like the last couple of weeks, every time we have sex, she's fucking bored. I'm like, bitch, I'm bored with you too. And all I could think was, yeah, because she's been fucking my man. Courts. Like, I'm sorry. You can't.
Funny.
She went pro. She can't go back to the fucking amateur leagues. And it was just like, oh, but it was so much embarrassment at the
my
table.
God.
And when later on,
And so was the guy who was having sex with her, was he there while
Yes.
he was Oh,
Yes.
what was his reaction?
oh no, we were just sitting still because it was already uncomfortable because we
yeah.
weren't real close. We just were kind of social friends.
Yeah.
And just ran into each other and we was like, oh shit, listen, we was having lunch and we were hanging out in the mall. We were like literally
funny.
20 years old. But afterwards we got in my car and he just busted out laughing. He was
That's
like, he
really
said, dude, that was
funny.
real uncomfortable. I was like, my God, I said, because I love how, because the thing that also contributed to the humor of it is that he was trying to flip it on her. Like, yeah, all right, bitch, I'm moving on too. Like, no, she's already moved on.
Again, this is what I mean, right? Like, it's really fascinating. He was
That
like,
is-
yeah, I was done with her.
I was done with her. Like,
I was done with her.
Whatever.
And it's just like, wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
well, and I don't know what it is about that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the same now. You think about it, or I guess I should ask a question. I'm always fascinated about younger generations and how they deal with stuff because I feel like they live out in the open in a way that all of our
Too much
stuff was
so, at
secrecy.
times.
Yeah. But, I don't. I don't want to sound like the old man on the lawn on the porch, but this thing is like, whenever they grew up with a level of exposed sexuality that we did not have in terms of just Facebook, Twitter, and all this other shit. Like literally, if I wanted pornography, I had to go buy a Penthouse at the fucking local store. Those pages don't move.
At the 5 and dime.
I ain't that old, but you know what I mean. Like, but even just being able to see and not just see it, but also expose yourself. And so the idea of sex and sitting around talking about it, till you started having sex consistently, you didn't know sometimes it could be hard to, or if you didn't have older brothers, which I did, fortunately, you didn't know what was bullshit and what was truth. So I consider that locker room talk. You can be 17 years old. Some guy can be sitting around talking about, I was banging the shit out of her. Like she came like 12 times. Like,
God.
shut up. Or the other things guys used to say, young men would always say, and they probably still do, because this is a lie that's hard to disprove. Like, yeah, dude, we did it like 5-6 times last night. Like, come on, porn star. Tell me more, Lex Steele. Like, please tell me more. 6 times? I worked at Dairy Queen. I ain't got time to be trying to break her off 6 times.
Maybe when he said we did it 6 times, he was talking about there were times where he watched her and times where she watched him, and it totaled
Nice.
6 times.
Nice. Together, it was cumulative.
I mean, they did it once together.
Oh my gosh! But you get a lot more exposure to it. But I think you pose a interesting question, just like that idea of like when you asked like about sitting around talking about that thing. I think about that. I think I have been told stories about people that I know, and I don't care who you are. There are going to be some stories that are always going to stick in your head, even though I didn't want to know what someone's wife or someone's girlfriend was like. If I'm friends with her now,
Yeah.
like
That would be weird.
that it's just too much. Like and that's the thing. Like I don't want to view someone differently, because if there's anything more intimate, then there is nothing more intimate than that time between your partner. And even when you're 16, 15, 25 and you don't know any better, the reality of it is like that can create a lasting image.
Yeah.
And it's just
Absolutely.
yeah. And I don't want anyone looking at my girlfriend, wife differently. So I'm like, I'm not telling that kind of shit.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, we love to hear your experiences. Do you sit around talking with your friends and giving explicit details about?
Or did you? Yes.
Or did you? Yeah, better. Did you? Have you ever? How about that?
Have you ever?
Have you ever sat around with your group of friends talking about your partner, your sexual partner? I'm really interested in hearing feedback on this one because I think it'll be really fascinating. And so you just drop us a line, look right below, and you'll be able to see where to do that.
Or do it on our website, Drinks with My Wife podcast.com.
That's who we are.
Yeah.
That's who we are. Drinks with My
Matter of
Wife.
fact, just go there anytime. Just go there anytime.
Hang. And yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining Drinks with My Wife. Please be sure to click the subscribe button and rate us on Apple Podcast and Spotify.